The LA wildfires are leaving homeowners devastated, and insurers' decision to pull out is devastating homeowners' ability to perhaps rebuild when this is all over. And I'm talking about it right now.
I know I'm not supposed to be here, but this is my parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance. And these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
So what you just watched is the story of many thousands of California homeowners. In this case, of course, the homeowners were elderly. But just a few short months to about a year or so ago, California insurers decided to start canceling insurance of their insured across the state due to the conditions of essentially the natural disasters that are happening in the state. And I wanted to kind of step you through just some of the stuff that has gone on that has led up to them canceling, what insurers canceled, why they canceled, and I'll show you some of the documents that they used to actually withdraw their insurance to these homeowners who are now caught up in this wildfire in LA, and a lot of them without home insurance. Let's take a look at the next video.
Insurance market takes another hit after State Farm announces it's discontinuing coverage for 72,000 homes and apartments. The move comes as insurance options here in the state continue to dwindle and costs skyrocket. NBC4's Ted Chin looked into how California and consumer advocates are responding.
State Farm has not said where in California it's canceling its policies, nor has it said by what criteria. But experts believe it's most likely in areas with wildfire risk, 72,000 homes and apartments losing their insurance.
It's especially outrageous given the fact that State Farm just got a $500 million rate hike this month.
In a statement, State Farm said, quote, "This decision was not made lightly and only after careful analysis of State Farm General's financial health, which continues to be impacted by inflation, catastrophe exposure, reinsurance costs, and the limitations of working within decades-old insurance regulations. California's Proposition 103 passed in 1988 and limited insurance companies' ability to raise rates."
The insurance industry is using these real changes in the market to target California because they want to deregulate.
Last year, both State Farm and Allstate said it would not issue new home policies in California. NBC4's I-Team discovered it drove more people to the FAIR Plan, the state insurance pool known as the insurance of last resort.
The FAIR Plan is drowning in applications.
To apply for the FAIR Plan, the state says you must first find a broker who will help determine eligibility and then help find the right coverage. California's insurance commissioner says his office will also help people in need of insurance, but consumer advocates say there needs to be a new law.
We will have insurance experts on hand to help you find additional insurance with carriers who are writing in California to make sure you have no lapse of coverage.
We need a mandate that insurance companies cover us when we do the right thing.
Ted Chen, NBC4 News.
So there you have it. 72,000 State Farm insurees lost their insurance right before the current LA wildfires because what they claim is decades-old regulations not allowing them to increase prices beyond a certain cap that California set. And, you know, obviously right now with tragic results, the reality is that there are many homeowners at the moment who are going to be going through really tough times trying to replace the value of the homes and things that are unreplaceable. If you've ever been through a fire or any event where your home was completely devastated, there are just simply some things in your home that cannot be replaced. What I wanted to show you was just a list of insurers who decided at the moment to cancel in California and who are no longer offering coverage to their insurees. And Here it is. So areas like the Hollywood Hills, if you can see that, Rolling Hill Estates, they said that they had less than 1% of policies that won't be renewed there. However, in Brentwood, about 61.5% of State Farm policies won't be renewed. In Bel Air, that percentage increases to about 67.4%. This report says it's important to note that the non-renewal is not canceling. Customers affected by the decision retain coverage until their current contract is up. The company said that those impacted will be notified between July 3rd and August 20th. Says State Farm's California's largest insurer as of 2022 said that the move would impact 2% of its total policies in the state and was made to ensure long-term stability. So the decision was not made lightly and only after careful analysis of State Farm General's financial health, which continues to be impacted by inflation, catastrophic exposure, reinsurance costs, and the limitations of working within decades-old insurance regulations. They said that State Farm General takes seriously our responsibility to maintain adequate claims, paying capacity for our customers, and to comply with applicable financial solvency laws. It is necessary to take these actions now, the company said in the statement. So I guess in theory, the state of California, State Farm specifically has basically some people are going to still be covered because even though they decided not to renew, this LA wildfire happened and probably before I think cancellations took effect. So State Farm, according to them, has enough of their financial solvency to be able to help mitigate some of the impact of having canceled. But for other people who are outside of that coverage time period, like the woman that you just saw with the two 90-year-old parents, I don't know how they're going to recover the assets. California, they started the California Fair Plan, which is supposed to be an augmented insurer to help offset the cost of whatever the insurance doesn't cover, because they know that insurees and homeowners of California are at really great risk of cancellation. And there are broad cancellations across insurers as well. So it's not just State Farm that canceled their fire insurance and their fire coverages in the state of California. It's also Travelers Insurance, Nationwide Insurance, Farmers, Allstate, and Chubb. Now, what I did was I did a little research to take a look at some of the withdrawal forms. I wanted to see what the notices look like for one of these insurance companies that were canceling their insurance. And so I was able to find Nationwide's template. So when they are deciding to withdraw coverage from the state of California, they're required to file a bunch of paperwork so that they can no longer insure these homeowners. And so what they did is they have to, I believe, submit a template of what the notice of non-renewal will look like. And I have that actually for you to take a look. So let's take a look to see. This is going to be, if you're not in California and you're watching this, you'll be able to see what the notice of non-renewal actually looks like for customers that are in California. So let me just share that right now. Here you go. So this is kind of what they got for non-renewal. It says that the reason for non-renewal, we have discontinued our dwelling fire program in the state of California. It says the California Department of Insurance has developed the California Home Insurance Finder, an online tool that can assist you in obtaining insurance for your home. That's, of course, if somebody else steps up and actually decides to provide home insurance. It says that the finder contains names, addresses, phone numbers, and internet website links of licensed insurance agents, brokers, and insurance companies that may be able to sell insurance to you. The finder is organized by zip code and the languages in which the agent, broker, or insurance company sells insurance. The California Fair Plan provides basic property insurance as an insurer of last resort if you cannot find insurance coverage for your property in the normal voluntary insurance market. The Fair Plan provides basic property insurance coverage for residential structures as well as personal property coverage for residential damage, residential and business occupancies. However, Fair Plan policies may not cover liability, theft, or water damage, among other things. There are also optional coverages available for both residential properties. Applications can be made directly with the FAIR Plan, although the FAIR Plan strongly encourages use of a licensed agent or broker for assistance in preparing and obtaining a quote. There is no additional cost for using an agent or broker for purchasing a FAIR Plan policy. California law requires an agent or broker to assist a person seeking a FAIR Plan policy. So this is basically the letter that they're getting, homeowners right here. A templated letter that was sent out, basically saying they're discontinuing the program, and there's really nothing that homeowners can do. But I mean, the results of this are just devastating. Let's take a look to see what that FAIR Plan covers.
It's not a normal home insurance policy.
Most people never hear about the California FAIR Plan until their homeowner's insurance gets canceled.
It only covers fire, lightning, internal explosion. It doesn't cover water damage, leaks, your toilet overflows.
Amy Bach is a consumer advocate with the nonprofit United Policyholders. She says the FAIR Plan is more expensive, but necessary.
It's much better to have FAIR Plan coverage than to have no coverage. That I can say.
Once viewed as the fire insurance of last resort in high-risk wildfire areas, more and more homeowners, even in lower-risk areas, are now being forced into the FAIR Plan.
Why is the fire insurance worse than fire insurance I would get from one of the main insurance carriers, aside from it being more expensive?
They typically outsource. They don't have their own claim adjusting force. Everything takes longer. It's hard to find a person there. They just are not known for quality claim handling because they just weren't built to provide that. They were built basically to be a stopgap until you could find a policy somewhere else.
Surprise, surprise, that the government insurance agency is not actually efficient at actually governing something specific, like trying to provide like a buffer insurance for the claimants about it. But almost all of this started happening prior to the wildfires in LA. And the latest reports out of LA are not very good. And they're devastating. And, you know, my heart goes out to everyone affected by those wildfires. Here's kind of the latest from emergency responders on the ground.
This is the most gruesome scene I've ever seen in my life. It's like a war zone.
All the stuff that's here is replaceable. People are not. So having a family is the most important thing.
We start tonight tracking several wildfires burning in LA County. Homes,
devastating,
schools, and entire communities have been destroyed.
And take a look at this map of the at least 5 fires that we are tracking in Southern California right now. The Sunset Fire sparking earlier this evening in the Hollywood Hills. The Palisades Fire is still the largest, burning north of Santa Monica and Pacific Palisades. And there's the deadly Eaton Fire in Altadena. And rounding out the list, the Hearst and Lydia fires.
Okay, take a look at the current size of the fires tonight. At last check, the Palisades Fire is close to 16,000 acres. The Eden Fire is now more than 10,000 acres. The Hearst Fire is approaching 1,000 acres. The Lydia Fire is less than 500 acres. And it's the only fire with some containment at 40% tonight. Meanwhile, the Sunset Fire in the Hollywood Hills is 50 acres. And sadly, several people have died and more than 1,000 structures have been destroyed. We do have a lot to cover tonight. I'm Chris Thomas.
So that's the latest on the LA wildfires as of today. Obviously, devastating news for those homeowners. Not just, my heart goes out to those who have lost their lives. But of course, possessions can be replaced. But the fact that the insurers pulled out is going to be essentially a topic for great debate in the months and years to come. What California does to the regulations of insurance companies is going to be a topic of great debate for the days and weeks and years to come. So stay tuned. I'll be covering it here on the Common Sense Show. Thank you for watching this special episode of the Common Sense Show. If you're in California and you're watching this, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through such a hard time. My heart goes out to you, and I wish you and your family are safe and the best. And, our heart also goes out to those first responders who are fighting this fire. I'm Micah, and I'm out of here.